All right, we back with the Boxing Clinic and more. It's your boy CJ Goodfella. One time for the one time. Some news is coming in that Jon Jones may be eligible. I think it's for a UFC event in New York, November 3rd. It doesn't have a main event, and USADA and Jon Jones' legal team have come to an agreement to reduce a 2-year suspension down to 15 months, and to be backdated so he'd be eligible to fight come November 3rd. We back with the Boxing Clinic and more. Y'all know what the business is. We talk more than boxing right now. We talking mixed martial arts, UFC. And, basically Jon Jones argued that he did not knowingly take Medobite. I think that's whatever steroid it is. He submitted all the dietary supplements he take. All of them came back negative. Instead, he doesn't know how it got in his system. Most people think it's he was set up by, USADA and the UFC, whatever reason that is, but he tested positive again for a banned substance. USADA caught him, and they sat down with an arbitrator and worked it out, and now he eligible to come back and fight again. And I just think he on a real short leash, man. And I'll link the article link in the description. He needs to watch what he puts in his body if he truly not cheating. I don't want to put the conspiracy brother hat on and say if he was or he wasn't cheating, but most importantly is, man, watch what you put in your body. Don't trust what people give you. I mean, you guilty if you just taking shit that people give you, even though if you trust them or don't trust them, or you got a neutral feeling, you guilty. You put it in your body. You should always ask questions about what you putting in your body, okay? If your trainer giving you something, your boy giving you something, your coach giving you something, your physical conditioning, strength and conditioning coach giving you something, and you're not asking what it is, I mean, you guilty. Off rip, you guilty. Okay? Period. And like I say, this ain't his first time, or I think it might be his second or third time, but let's see what he does. When he comes back. I know Don Cormier, had to clean some skeletons out of his closet. I know, Jon Jones may potentially, somewhere in the future pursue him if he continues to be the heavyweight champion of the world. Last time I heard that Stipe might want a rematch, maybe, but Jon Jones in DC would be huge at heavyweight if he able to build himself back up. Or if Brock Lesnar win. I know Brock Lesnar and Jon Jones, I believe, have some words. I know DC and Brock Lesnar have some words. So, people saying the UFC has fallen into a slump, but I think Jon Jones gives it a big boost. Conor McGregor gives it a big boost. Manny Nunes taking on Chris Cyborg, that's a big boost. So they getting back in rotation, and also if they can, infuse the sport with some new stars, they giving you the best fight and the best. That's one thing that you don't get in boxing a lot. They give you the best fight, the best. So they got to capitalize on all this new momentum they got. Hopefully some new stars arise and some new challenges arise for some of their UFC stars, and it will. They got a lot of potential, a lot of other good fights. What Tyrone Woodley could fight McGregor if they really wanted to. I mean, DC and Jon Jones could really get it on. So, Tony Ferguson is still there if he get healthy for Conor McGregor. So, the UFC, might be on the up and up, man. You might get some crossover fights with boxing. Been a lot of talk with boxers calling out, Conor McGregor, and I feel that he got his swag back, but let's see what Jon Jones look like with almost a year off of inactivity, or however long it been. Let's see if he got his fast switch muscles. Let's see if he stayed in shape. We know he like to party, drink, and do things. And what makes the situation a little bit harder to believe is that one of his brothers, I think Arthur Jones, used to play for the Colts. I think he won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens. He got popped for performance-enhancing drugs, I believe, in the NFL. So, most people say birds of a feather flock together. You know what I'm saying? And that's real shit, man. Apple don't fall far from the brother tree. So that's all things you got to take into consideration when looking at this. And, he been through a lot. It seems like he got two brothers, Chandler Jones and he played for the Cardinals. He used to play for the Patriots. And Arthur Jones, and you think he would, walk a fine line. Those ain't two small guys neither. But at the end of the day, they can't whoop on him. You know what I'm saying? They can't whoop Jon Jones. You know what I'm saying? But still, you would think, he'll walk that fine line. They can kind of give him some structure. But, you live and you learn. And, he living and he learning. If he make another mistake, I don't want to see him back in the octagon again. If he tests positive again for performance-enhancing drug, cocaine, he need this shit stripped from him, man. He not taking it serious, okay? He could have went down as one of the greatest, UFC and mixed martial arts fighters of all time. But, everybody going to bring up the positive test, and it's going to tarnish his legacy. Like it's tarnished plenty of other athletes' legacy when you bring them up. From Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa, now you got Canelo Alvarez, keep coming up. So, this is the day and age where, random drug tests is popular, it's up. And, if you get caught, snoozing and you get popped, then with social media, your legacy is tarnished forever, especially when you're talking about all-time greats in your sports and in combat sports, okay? But it's the Boxing Clinic and more. It's your boy, CJ Goodfellow. I definitely appreciate everybody for checking the channel out. I have a UFC mixed martial arts playlist, I believe. I'm going to continue to build on that and, expand the content and giving, more than boxing. Some channel changes is coming. And, not the most knowledgeable UFC or mixed martial arts fan, but I'm working to strive to become better in each aspect and department. But it's your boy Goodfellow. Y'all know what the business is. We gone.